Everyone who experiences a life-threatening experience or event is likely to feel traumatized. So, in today's video, we are going to look at what we call PTSD, or that is called post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay? People who have been in the war zone regions, or you have been in areas where people are fighting, you may understand this video better. But also in our communities, we have people who are exposed to what we call trauma. So in today's video, we are going to understand what is PTSD, what is post-traumatic stress disorder. So if you are still new to our channel, please subscribe. My name is Birabi Enock Francis, a psychiatric clinical officer who is bringing for you this wonderful information. You may be there and you are having symptoms of PTSD, but you don't know. You may have gone through some bad experience in your life. So this is a video is made for you. It will help you to understand yourself better. Okay, so when we talk about post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD, if you are a student who is studying, maybe who is in a medical school, this is a mental disorder which falls under what we call trauma and stress-related disorders. But if you are not a medical student, we say this is a mental disorder. Okay, so PTSD, for you to be diagnosed or to be said to be having PTSD, the first criteria or the first category that you must have gone through, you must have exposed to what we call a traumatic event. Okay, so to be traumatized means you remain scared after going through a dangerous experience. Like your life was in danger, they were almost killing you, but you survived nonetheless. So you remain with that fear within you. Okay, so you remain upset. Okay, so there we say you are traumatized. Okay, so if you are watching me and you are in the war zone area and you're having these symptoms, please, we request you that if they are triggering some of your memories, please, you need to see a mental health specialist who can support you. So for you to have to be diagnosed with PTSD, we say that you must be exposed to trauma, and in today's video we are going to look at trauma. Okay, the next thing is that we have other 4 categories where you must be having these symptoms. So you must be having around 9 symptoms to be diagnosed with PTSD under different categories. Then the other thing is that these symptoms must have been there for at least more than 1 month. Okay, after being exposed to trauma, these symptoms must have been there for at least more than a month, and also there must be at least 9 of these symptoms in different categories. In today's discussion, we are talking about the trauma. Okay, for you to qualify, or for someone to qualify to be having PTSD, is that you must be exposed what we call a traumatic event. Okay, a traumatic event, we mean must be life-threatening, so you must be exposed to actual or threatened death. Okay, like you are almost dying and someone, maybe you narrowly survive that event. Okay, then also another thing is that you must be exposed to what we call a serious injury. Like let's take an example. Maybe you are moving in a bus, God forbid, it is carrying how many people? 64 people. And all the people, you got an accident and all the people died and you are the only survivor. So that kind of experience is what we are talking about. Okay, maybe you are in a war zone area whereby you are seeing your relatives being killed. Okay, now maybe they were going to shoot you, but they shot your father or they shot your wife. Then you survived that incident. So that is exposure to what we call threatened death. Okay, then another category is that you must be exposed to what we call sexual violence. Okay, so when you are exposed to these 3 categories of this, that is what we are talking about, trauma. Okay, now you must be a victim, or you may be witnessing directly. So for you to have what we call be exposed to what we call trauma, or to be traumatized, is that 1, you can be exposed to trauma in the following ways. 1, by directly experiencing the traumatic event. So you are the victim. Like if a bus gets an accident and other people are dead and you are the survivor, so you are part of those people. Okay, so you have been exposed to that traumatic event. Then the other category is that directly witnessing the traumatic event as it happens to others. So you can, let's say the bus was going to get an accident and maybe it found you on the as you are walking maybe home, and people died seriously, all of them died and perished, and you witness how those people were dying and in serious pain. So there you are likely to suffer from what we call post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. Okay, then another thing is that sometimes you may not be a direct witness or you may not be directly exposed to this event, but you learn that these events have happened to a close relative, maybe your family member, maybe your wife, your child. Okay, for example, the act of sexual violence, maybe you learn that this rape happened to my wife, the rape happened to your child, the rape happened to this, or they killed your relative. So when you learn that, you are likely to experience what we call post-traumatic stress disorder. Then another category under trauma is that you must be exposed to what we call aversive details of the traumatic event. So maybe your work, your work is responsible to rescuing people. Let's say you are a police officer, a traffic officer. Okay, when people get accidents, you are the first people to be called to go and remove those dead bodies. So if they kill, for example, they killed a group of people somewhere, maybe the rebels have killed people somewhere, then you are the one who is running to go and correct those remains and whatever, you are likely to also to suffer from what we call PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder, because every time you are experiencing, you are looking at dead bodies who have been killed. Okay, or you are collecting the remains on the traffic after people getting accident, perishing, and you see some of these people dying in pain. Okay, you can be a medic who is responsible for that. They are bringing dead bodies. You are always exposed to this. So this thing does not leave you the same. You continue having what we call scary memories. You may develop what we call PTSD. So this is what we are calling post PTSD. Okay, so if you are still new to our channel, we request you to subscribe, because this motivates me to create more content for you. So people who have been like in Uganda, if you have been in northern Uganda, at least you have been exposed to what we are calling war. Okay, you see your people being killed, you see them, they cut off the mouth, you find them shooting, you find the women raped, the girls raped. So this one is exposure to what we call trauma, life-threatening or serious injury. And some of our people may not be in war zone regions, but you can be in our communities. We have heard of stories where women have gone through what we call rape or defilement, or you have gone through such kind of experiences when you are a child. So you can develop these symptoms of PTSD. Okay, so as I'm concluding about this criteria is that we are looking out for people who can partner with us so that we can continue spreading mental health messages in our communities, for example in Achivale, here in Tororo, and different villages within Uganda, because research has shown us that 70% of people who have mental illness, they first have to seek a religious leader. Okay, so we want to reduce that gap. So many people so much believe in the witchcraft. So with these teachings, people are able to get the right information and they are able to seek for medical help. So that is what we are calling PTSD. So we have looked at the first criteria is that you must be exposed to what we call trauma. And trauma, when we talk about trauma, is that you nearly escaped death. Okay, you maybe have witnessed people dying, maybe in a serious road accident or traffic accident or sexual violence. And in most of our communities, we have seen women who have been raped, but they rarely talk about this. So let alone they can develop what we call PTSD. And we have said that PTSD has other 4 categories of symptoms, but these symptoms must be at least 9 and they must have been there for at least a period of more than 1 month. So thank you so much. Let me see you in our next video, where I'm going to talk about intrusive symptoms, the symptoms of PTSD under the first category, which is called intrusion. Thank you so much. See you in our next video.